Austria in, I think it is near Spielberg in Austria. As you can see, I'm quite late already into this qualifying. It's TJ Stewart already puts in the fastest time, which is the only time of 105.4. I'm very sorry that I started off late. I kind of didn't know when we would start as we had trouble with people joining. So I'm about 4-ish minutes late. But I mean, everyone's doing their laps. Really, I skipped all the boring part of qualifying, so you know, you don't have to thank me. It's fine. Anyway, on to the people that are actually racing. So I mean, everyone's probably almost on a lap, as you can see on the left hand side. Traffic, a really big problem around this track. I was seen in Division 0. It's very difficult to find the space and then who to let go and who not to let go, and really should be letting everyone go, if you know what I mean. Like, it's quite difficult. Plus I don't know, we just have to hop on board with somebody like JRKP. Is he on a lap? Has he just started a lap? I think this is him just starting a lap. But he's already invalidated at turn 1. That's crazy. Wallace has already done a lap as he's out of ERS. Sportman puts in a pole position for a 105.1. That's not sport. Now on board with sport as who's just putting this on? Kalitos? No, Grafoulis. I can never say his name right. Kathanasu. The Williams driver I used to call him, I think. Anyway, above Kazingo, he is on a lap. Man that won last race in Azerbaijan after heartbreak in Imola. I think he still won it. I haven't seen the stewards report, which I really should have looked at. I don't know if he kept that victory. Be impressive if somebody could tell me about that. Losing all the curb there. What a great lap. This should be a 104, hopefully. Beating Sport Mad, depending on his first 2 sectors and the amount of downforce he's running. Varied opinions on how much downforce you should run at this track here. A 105.3 puts in P3, just behind Maggot, but still 1.5 tenths off Sport Mad. As I was saying, the downforce to run here is anywhere between, you've got 25 on the front wing, even in some cases, and then about 20 on the rear wing, but some people is running as low as like 7 on the rear wing and 11 on the front, but mostly you'll be seeing it probably sat around 19, 20 on the front wing and 14, 15 on the rear. And then quite a stiffly-ish suspension, as we've got a spin there from one of the Alpha Tauris. It's JRKP on his lap. So he'll have to use another set of tyres if he hasn't already. As we'll hop on board with Husk, as he's invalidated. Anyone miss out? DC Karting. He's on a lap here. We'll watch him as he comes out of turn 4. Then that is turn 5. And sweeping into turns 6. Ignore the curb on the right. And all the curb on the exit. Even though I think I'm supposed to car a lot better, it really does not seem. These cars seem to be gliding over that curb. Maybe it's just my setup. You saw the curb on the inside, gets the car fully rotated. Oh, bumps over the inside curb there. The last corner, he comes across the line. So it's a 106.1. That puts him just P10, but above his teammate in the Alfa Romeo. Hammer still in the pits. I don't think he's came out of the pits yet. Is Husk going to start a lap? He will here, so we can watch him. Sportman puts in another pole position on a same set of tyres, question mark? Really? Look, 3 lap old, it says. That's crazy if he has done that and set a new fastest. That is actually wild. A 105.2. It's right in front of you, Dylan, but you can't speak it. A 105.046. Around 3 tenths exactly to the car behind him. Husk here also very nicely through the corners. I saw he got a great exit out of the hairpin, very smooth. And now he's being quite tentative on the foot. Oh, misjudges that corner. I assume he's still going to set this lap because anything's better than nothing here. So JRKP's also, I assume, trying to do a lap right. It's not great. He's 4th lap on these set of tyres. A 105.8 is the best he could achieve. As Husk puts in a 106.221. But Jim, where's that? P13. It's another best from Husky. Did miss one of the corners. As Hammer's going to get some air time now. Carvolus is also on a lap here. Seems to have missed him his first lap about 10 minutes into the session, just about. Short shifting all the way to 5th there to get the power out of the hairpin, make sure not to get any wheel spin. It's now braking into turn 4 all the way into 2nd, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Then into the blinded corner of turn 6, just clip the inside curve as he does, use the outside curve to run, but just invalidates as he goes over. Super easy to invalidate here, the warnings will play a big part if you can control them here. As Hammer also comes out of turn 4 towards 3rd, 6 south. Slowly on the throttle, gets the car rotated into full throttle and downshifts, throws the car in on all the exit curve there, flat out. Does he downshift once or twice? It's interesting. Conundrum twice, so do I. And downshifts once. Oh, downshifts again to 4th. I always think the car is more unstable in 4th here in that corner. A good lap from him, puts in P6, the man that won in Jeddah and won in Imola. It's P6 for him. And too far. We'll have to check the steward report and see if anyone what actually the score is looking like. As Maga set a much faster lap, and so did Evan. That's a good lap from Evan, a 105.1. And then his teammate setting a 105.2, so about a 10th faster for Maga, and maybe I think it was 2.5 times faster for Evan. As Kazingo, does he start his lap? No, he goes into pits. Hammer's not starting another lap, but TGL Stewart is starting another lap. Just realised I haven't switched the camera angle. Turn 1, there's a slow moving car, I assume that's to let the McLaren by. Good teamwork there. I just realised I do not have a drink in my super awesome mega commentary box right next to the circuit course. But I'm still using this monitor to, even though I could look out my window and see the cars racing. Instead I'm just going to watch it through this monitor because it's much easier. Forget just how compact this is. TJ Stewart says they're setting a fastest middle sector. It popped up for a second. Purple, let's see what he does. He's up by a 10th and just a bit, so this will be good enough for just a 1 place improvement. He needs to improve by around 2 tenths for 3rd and around exactly 4th with pole. P2, 4 thousandths faster than Evan there in the Ferrari. Still a 10th off Sport Mad though. We'll have to see if anyone can do a better lap, as I think Benny Buno in the McLaren will start his lap. Indeed he will. A 105.6 is what he's looking to improve upon. A good first turn, takes enough curb, doesn't unturtle the car too much on the exit. That curve can really, the exit curve there can really be annoying on worn tyres, as I found out. I think he clips the back end there over the massive yellow curb, so you can't accelerate as much as you truly want to. Braking into turn 4 now, downhill, so very difficult to get the perfect braking spot. Also difficult prolonged corner, so the throttle, you're more eager to get onto the throttle, but you don't want to be too close to the strip on the outside, otherwise you get the effects of the uneven ground as he invalidates in the exit of turn 6. That's very unlucky. Let's be a good lap from him up to that point. I think we'll hop on board with JRKP, who's actually set a lap this time. He's getting out of the way for the oncoming cars. He actually has already set a lap, a better lap, a 105.3. That's a good lap from him. It's difficult to watch people on their laps here because the lap is just so short, only 1 minute 5 seconds. We'll see if anyone can break into the 104s. As Husker isn't looking to go again. You think he's doing one more lap to warm up these tyres, and that'll be his last lap, last attempt. as Billy comes out of the pits. Also, he will be doing a 1 out lap as and the first one here. So the Williams driver retires at the hairpin, I think that is. Yes, you can see she spun out of the hairpin. That's so unlucky there. The traction is so difficult, as well as it being uphill, but that should kind of help as it does slow the car down. Still difficult though to pick braking points for all these corners. Nice on board for Zingle's Maggot. Just starting a lap. This will be good to watch. Picked enough, come running all the way to the yellow strip. But it gets perfect, like stability. The car's not on anything at all, so you managed to get full throttle. That's great. Using all the curb on the left to brake, throws it in a great apex speed, 80 kilometers per hour almost. Also, straight back on the throttle in third, short strip into fourth. That's now downhill braking at the 70-meter mark. Some would say use the curb on the inside for rotation. Doesn't go too far left, but he does get a little bit of snap that pushes him right as he brakes into turn 6. Avoids the curb on the inside, slowly ramps up the throttle. Using all the space on the right, touches the inside curb. You can see the car rotate there, but it seems to be kept under control as he uses some of the curb on the exit up into 8th. Downshifting twice, using the inside curb to rotate. Doesn't decide to take the exit curb there, wants to play it safe towards the end of the lap. And it's a great lap there. Luckily I commentated it as pole position for Maggot at the moment, but it's provisional pole position. I shouldn't say it is pole position. So he's still got a sport who needs to set a lap if he wants to come back out. Also, Kazingle looks to have made a mistake on his lap, so he's looking to recharge the ERS. Hammer's also on a lap. Who else is on a lap I haven't actually watched? Kalitzos. Is that Kalitzos? Yes, Kalitzos, yes. Kalitzos. Oh, he's out of ERS. No, he's in no fuel mode. So unfortunately, 12th, the driver I praise so much. He needs to get out of the way here for a lot of drivers. I guess we'll just hop back on board with Hammers. Actually, we do have Billy, his teammate. We can watch his lap. Oh, no, he's going to go on to a lap. So you can watch Hammers, see if he jumps up the grid anywhere as he starts sector 3. Billy, 4th gear, or jumps the curb just a bit too much. Trying to different lines through that first corner. Very difficult to get as Hammers is going to cross the line. A 108 wasn't his best lap, but I think he's going again now. Yes, the ERS actually just takes too much speed and invalidated, unfortunately, there for Hammers. I think Kazingle is on a lap here, but 20% ERS, it's not looking great. Really pushing it here towards the line. This is really, as soon as it gets under 10%, that ERS just gives you no more power, and he has to correct his course there in the exit of turn 6 as he gets a bit too eager with the throttle. As now he's going to start losing time towards this corner on the straight out of ERS. He's trying to 4th gear, he's trying to push it, he's trying to find his crucial 10th, and there is going to be an improvement, but not by much. Only 1/10 puts him P5 above JRKP, but JRKP goes 3rd at 105.095, so 2-3 for AlphaTauri at the moment. 2GL Stewart has invalidated. Evan is on a lap. We'll see if he can improve here. 30 seconds left in qualifying. Don't know who's going to be able to set a lap. All very slow in that corner, it seemed. Didn't really drag out the speed, did Evan there. Struggling the turn in there. Wasn't too confident. Down by a 10th of a second. Maybe he can find some time there. Unfortunately, he's just ran wide on the exit. So he will stay P5 as we'll hop on board with Benny Buno. He's going to start his lap. Also, DZ Carton is also on a lap, I think. Also, the Williams driver also on a lap. This is close. These two very close together. Both on a lap. Maybe he's getting the benefit of the slipstream, but this dirt, yeah, as Marshall seems to be closing. That's got to be quite difficult. Yeah, look, he invalidates him. That's just so unfortunate. It's in the dirt. Yeah, Benny Bruno equaled this time in the first sector. We hop on board with DZ Carton. Can't through the last turn. Can he improve? No, he turns in super early there. Validates completely over the last corner as we now hop back on board with Benny Bruno, who's going to be, I think, our last driver who's on a lap. It is, we'll see, and he's also equal through the second sector. We'll see if he can make up any time. He needs around a tenth and a half to move up a place. But 2 tenths will do him golden, move him above Hammers if he can get it. Oh, he uses all the curb on the exit. Does he get it? No, he improves by just 5 thousandths of a second, keeping him in P10, and I think that is everyone done. So your pole position goes to Maga, and then TJ Stewart sneaking in a great time of 104.989. I did not see that at all. Great time from him after he didn't race in Azerbaijan. What a great lap there as he pushes the two Alpha Tauris down to P3 and P4. Evans sneaking in P5. That's a great qualifying from him. Kazinga would have probably hoping he's done better. Hammers is probably happy with that. I think he had a little bit more in the tank, but I mean P7's not too bad. We know he's got the pace to move up the grid. And Nicky Lauda in 8th as well. Good qualifying in the Red Bull. DZ Carton, a great first qualifying for him, I think. I don't know. I can't remember him being in. Maybe he has been. I don't want to. Yeah, we'll just say he has raced before. Good in P9. The fastest Alfa Romeo, Benny Bruno, also the fastest McLaren P10. Also couldn't just improve. Marshmallow, I think, got blocked on his lap. I think he was up by around 10th. He would have had anywhere between P7, P6 maybe. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be. As Cavolis is P12, Kalitos is P13, the first Haas is P14, and then P15, the home driver today, or 2 home drivers. You've got Nicky Lauda and Manai Donkey Athanasu in 16th, and then Husk somewhere in the bottom 2, and who else is in the bottom 2? I can't remember. I'm going talking of. Oh, you know, it would be funny if I did a Austrian accent, like, you know, the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That'll be funny. I'm going to get cop a drink, and then I will be back with you as torrential downpour floods the circuit. This will be an interesting race. I'll see you near the end of the formation lap, perhaps. Welcome back, everybody. I'll be back. Get to the chopper. As they line up on the grid for today's race. Downpour, let me get the... Oh, I cannot do it. I used to be really good at it. Full wet. I didn't think it would be full wet. Oh, yeah, anyone on the mic? Can you... Yes, there we go. Benny, no. DZ Carton, that's what I'd like to see on the intermediate tyre. What a great decision. It's actually so great. I actually love to see that from him. What a great choice. I mean, he might get absolutely mobbed, but that is interesting to see. I cannot tyres. So away we go in the wet here in Austria. Might get away well. Side by side is TJ Sure. He actually gets a better race. Side by side, the two. Seems like Sport Mad on the inside gets the better of the Altaris. I'm not sure anyone. Oh, there's somebody in a wall. Benny Bruno. Unfortunately, sliding off there. There's mountains of cars to get past here. It all seems to be coagulating at the hairpin here. Down the inside. Marshmallow trying to make the mess. A great exit from Kazingle means he gets past Evan there. Already a gap forming between Kazingle and Sport Mad. I think that's just due to Evan. DZ Cards already out of the race on the intermediates. The driver I was praising so highly in the first virtual safety car comes out in this race. Just a virtual safety car. Very... I can't even see it. It's not even that, like, it covers my screen like grey. It's TZ Khan. So Benny Bruno, the only one, but I think with significant damage that is worth pitting on lap 1 after spinning after turn 1. I'm not sure when this safety car is going to end, so we'll have to keep on our toes. Who is that going into the pits? I swear it's some good. Also, pit rules is like, I'll say super far left if you're going into the pits here. Like, you cannot cross that line once it shows up. I wonder who is the fastest one here. Tito should get a great start in the wet. Yeah, I would have loved to try and done the Terminator voice, but I don't know, I just seem to have lost that. I literally out of nowhere. Just can't do it anymore. I think I need to be here. I need to listen to like someone go and do it. Oh, there we go. Get underway. His hammers actually fell all the way to P13. I didn't see that. There's a position changes. Oh, everyone's lost position. Except my man, like Donkey. Down the inside goes. He allowed that's a great move, but can Marshmallow get a switch back? He can. What a great move for Marshmallow to get past. It looks like full wet tyres is what we will be getting for the majority of this race. Just pouring it down. It is no end in sight. It seems. As another yellow flag comes up, and that is Hammers spinning out of turn, I want to say 9. Or if that's turn 6, that's turn 7, that's turn 8. Turn 8! I don't want to, I would hate to see him with significant damage, but I'll have to see is Athanasius that's the fastest lap. Does he pit? No, he seems to be okay. He seems to have just spun, he lost traction. Pushing a bit too hard in the wet. Kazingle right on the back here of Sport Mad. This is interesting. Fight here between these two. Race winners, both of them, in this division. I think. Well, on track race winners. I'm not sure about the after the shows, but so it's interesting to see these two going at it. I mean, TJ Short already a massive advantage as a little screen freeze there. I mean, Sport Mad flies in front of Kazingle. He has to be on his toes here. Very good. I mean, now that I think it was wet, I mean, did some drivers choose a wet setup and then that's why their qualifying was a bit hampered? I mean, maybe why Evan was up there, he had a good qualifying setup. Maybe not too good for the race. He seems to be good in P6, and a little bit of a gap to Kazingle as we got another yellow flag out of their last corner. That is a slow moving Marshmallow there. That's P15 for him as he's dropped down to the back of the grid. Honey Badger as Khalid spins out turn 1, and so does Nicky Lauda. That must have been a little bit of a collision, and safety car is brought out, even though nobody's DNF. That's a very unique situation. As I don't want to get too close to my PlayStation because nobody will be able to hit anything. Get to the chopper. Whoops. It's loud.
The 45 long slide with laser siding. So we just got the that's really good. Just the trigger, the beam comes on and you put the red dot where you want the bullet to go. You can't miss. Anything else? Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Phased plasma rifle at a 40-watt range. I don't know if that's Austrian. I cannot do it. We have people pitting. Interesting. Damage, perhaps? Or is it F4 tyres? I'm going to act like I wasn't just on my phone trying to get me... 20 intermediates, there we go. So, conditions changing a bit here. Seems to be going to intermediate weather more. Maybe just trickling over to intermediate weather. I mean, I love the wet weather because it does prove that, like, I mean, it's still raining. It's still raining, I'm sure, right? Hold on, let me get on board with something. It's still raining. Was it as much? I mean, the traffic's so dry from here. I mean, hold on, I'm going to sit down. It seems to not. It's not raining as much, is it? Really, it's not as much as it was at the start. So it's definitely got light over these 5 laps. Maybe it will turn to dry. Maybe it will stay wet. I mean, we can really see a racing line appearing, but as you can see, as Man Like Donkey goes over to the right, the splashes do come up. So interesting. TJ Stewart really net P1 if you think about it, if it is dry. We had to see if he's faster on these intermediates on the start. Still not going to go, I don't think. Next lap will be the lap that we get going. See, in the wet, Austria can really turn into a long off race. 1 minute 19. Oh, somebody said something. Oh, it's more people pit. Oh, a lot more people pit for intermediate. So yeah, Sport Mad stays out. Kazingle stays out. So top 4 have stayed out. Billy, Kazingle, Sport Mad, and Thingy have stayed out on wet tyres, not intermediates. We'll have to see if that changes. I mean, it's still raining. I think wet tyres should hopefully still be quite good in this position. Massively dry line appearing now. As you can see, I'm going to go on the stream and see if it's really that noticeable to hear my PlayStation. Standing gets quite boring. Division 2. Ah, here we go. Hold on, let me mute myself so I can actually hear this. Oh, never mind. As I muted myself, obviously it was going to mute myself on stream, so like I didn't hear anything. I mean, if anything, my PlayStation sounds like an F1 car, so if anything, we're closer to the action. Anyway, here we go. We're going. The top 4 drivers might get swamped. They might pull away here in these conditions. A safety car comes in. When is Maggot gonna go? He's waiting, leaving it all the way to the line. I mean, he doesn't really want to fight with Sport Mag at this point because they want to see if they can pull away from the intermediate tyres here. As Billy thinks about going down the inside of Kazingal, thinks better of it, but does force Kazingal out wide, meaning he's going to get a better exit here. As Stuart also wants to get around Billy. He's now going down the inside of Kazingal. Can he make it stick? Both very late on the brakes, trying to go around the outside. That's never really going to work for Kazingal, meaning he's going to lose a place to Billy and to Joe Stewart. That's a Kalitos fan in the chat. Aren't we all massive Kalitos fans? As Maggot seems to have made a bit of a woeful attempt at that corner as he drops back, but I mean, yeah, seems to have got a good switch back. I mean, the tyres don't really seem to be showing any which one's better, which one's worse at the moment. I mean, Kazingal actually just losing that place to JRKP here. Are his tyres overheating? Maybe, but really, it does seem fine. I mean, I wouldn't see why it looks like enough water on the track, and it's still raining, so I wouldn't see why the wet tyres aren't too bad. Like, but anyway, Marshmallow's out. The last corner, he's gone straight on. He's lost traction, and there's another safety car. Heaven for the wet drivers. Oh, is it really? Because no, because they'll still end up at the back. It's not really a free pit stop, is it? Yeah, well, I assume now they'll all pit because, as you can see now, raining is significantly decreased. It's barely even raining now. Besides, Benny Bruno didn't make up any places, obviously, on that, as he switched to intermediates quite early. His intermediates are the oldest intermediates on the track at the moment. As it is right, as all the wet drivers do pit onto intermediates, completely wrong apparently. Look, see, all Maggot and Sport are still out on wet tyres when you can clearly see the track is drying. It's barely raining, and we've got drivers on softs. I mean, slicks. Like, what? Complete and utter mistake from either Evan and Benny Bruno, or complete utter mistake from Maggot and Sport. Is it going to rain again? Is that what I'm missing? Do these people really think it's going to start pouring it down again? I wish I could see the forecast. I wish we got a thingy for it. See, Benny Bruno is super careful through the hairpin. We'll see what his tyres are at. Ooh. I don't know how great it is here. The tyre's not really getting too warm. I'm looking at the wheel at the moment of the two pitted cars. I mean, there, I think Evan should really slow down, not get to the end of this, give it another lap. I mean, there is still rain though. I mean, sector 1 seems completely like no rain. I don't know if it varies in sectors. I don't know if Codemasters care about the game that much, but. Yes, we'll have to see as Husk pits. What is he going on to? 5-second time penalty for him as he comes into the pit lane. It's gonna be medium tyres for Husk. That is crazy decision. Now we've got more slick drivers than we do full wet drivers. 9.5-old full wet. I don't know if Maggot and Sport Mad know that their wet tyres don't turn into slick intermediates the more they use them. I'm pretty sure. I assume they would, in this game, they would still keep the grooves. I mean, they're dreading every lap their safety car keeps going on, I assume. Gio Shooters is laughing, I think, and Evan and Benny Bruno and Husk are maybe master strategists. Okay, we'll have to see what Husk can get his tyres to. So around 80 degrees, it seems the fronts seem just to be clicking over to 80 degrees. But obviously you need around 85, I would say, at least to be able to race decently quickly. I mean, I think in the next 3 laps it should hopefully dry up a bit more if we get a bit more of a drier line. Anyway, safety car doesn't come in this lap, that's odd. Well, his car's still out for another lap. TGL, look how I don't really know what a good temperature is for the wet tyres actually. I know the intermediates is just below 60, 70ish. I'm not sure what it is for the full wets. Let's flip through the grid. Let's see if there's any interesting. I assume Hammers will have a fun time trying to fight through Honey Badger's dives on the inside of Kalitos there. By accident. Yeah, Hammers will get to fight through these 3. He's made him a recovery after his race. As we've got more medium drivers here. Kazingle making his second stop, as I assume he went from. Okay, this doesn't want me to go on race director. He went from intermediate wets, intermediates, mediums, yeah. I would have to see they jumped from wets to slicks. DZ Carton, maybe he was the mastermind after all, but just couldn't get past turn 3, that's so unfortunate. Safety car in this lap, the rain is... I'm trying to look, is it still with us? I don't think the rain is still with us, guys. Is it? Am I tripping? Oh yeah. You can see everyone's going in for soft mediums. I was wondering what they were doing there. As a few drivers stay out, Kalitos and Cavola stay out. As Kalitos takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix here on the intermediate tyres. Cavola's behind him. Honey Badger behind him, as Hammers is going to try and go down the inside of Honey Badger. This isn't really going to work, I don't think, as Evan is in the first place, you could say, on the medium tyres, as everyone else pits. Little battle here between Billy and the Husk here on the battle of who pits for the medium tyres, who's more eager on those cold mediums to make moves. Or is the Husk does just back out of that one. So only 5 drivers left now on wet tyres, as the track now does look completely dry, maybe a little bit greasy, but nothing more than that, and it's going to be very difficult for these drivers up front to get a gap, plus a big gap from Maggot and everyone that pitted under the safety car. Oh, that's going to be a penalty for Kalitsos, I assume, for jumping into the pit box, the thingy like that. As here we're going to get 3 wide into turn 1. Benny Bruno dives it down the inside. What a great move from Benny Bruno. That's actually wicked, as all the cars are now clumped together. This is looking like the actual Austrian Grand Prix last Austrian Grand Prix, as they all went to turn 1-5. It was almost 5 wide as Kazingle gets past Husk at the hairpin, as the cars spread out a bit more, but Husk's still the closest one. Husk's gonna try and make the move on Evan, And he does. Evan trying to get the switch rod, but he hits the back of Husk, which is really going to delay his efforts. And now down the outside is trying to go Evan, but Husky's just oversteering that way, and eventually he gets the position. So it's Billy versus Benny Bruno here for P1. I would say as Cavolis should come into the pits there. A short time lived, at least he led one lap in Division 2. Still a man on intermediate tyres, his man like Donkey as he actually comes into the pits now. New fastest laps are going to be rapidly exchanged at this point. Is anyone Maggot? Is he on a... anyone trying to contest him? Hugo Stewart here. There we go, look, time's flying down. In the 108s now. Almost halfway through this race and we've had it all. Oh my god. Maggot almost losing the back end there as DRS wide open for TJ Stewart. As Hammers gets a 5-second time penalty coming into the pit lane. He switches onto the hards. He'll be going to the end on those tyres. Those tyres are great. What a great move. What traction out of that corner is immense from TJ Stewart. As the hards are a greatly underrated tyre. Here, I think it's going to be very difficult for the medium runners to go full race distance on these tyres. Maybe the bold move would have been to go hard. As Billy sets the new fastest time, and then it goes to Kazingo, and then I assume it's going to be TJ Stewart, and then it won't be Maggot because TJ Stewart overtook him, and then maybe Sport Mad. As Husk is spotted, turn one, no! Husk. Unlucky. Luckily there's a massive gap between everyone racing in this race here. So he only drops to P5 from that spin. I don't know if he's got any damage. I don't think he hit a wall. So he's good. There's, we're going to see a move by Kazingal on Evan. Head down the inside into turn 4. Ooh, okay. Evan, I thought they were going to focus on start pushing off the track, but no. Kazingal just keeping a tiny smidgen of ERS advantage here as he's going to try to push towards Benny Bruno and Billy. I'm not really sure what happened here in this race. I thought it was Evan that was first. I mean, I think Benny Bruno and Billy and Kazingal all kind of followed Evan's idea to pit. I mean, it was Benny Bruno that was the second one to pit after Evan. Hard, and then obviously on the complete other end of the spectrum we've got Hammers 42 seconds behind everyone. I think he's going to have to close quite a distance to get anywhere in the next pit stop window, but we'll keep an eye on him. As Kazingo is still out of the DRS, but it's still draining to get into it. Billy comfortably, I don't want to say comfortably leading. Billy the only person that seems to be a threat here, as Kazingo is slowly making his way 10th by 10th actually. 2 tenths there, so maybe by the end of this lap there he will be in DRS range. We're going to see if anyone... oh, that's a battle between Maggot and TJ Stewart. They're close in Sportman. Always Kalissos bumps the back end of Nicky Lauda out of the traction zone of turn 3 as JRKP flies past Nicky Lauda off that poor exit with Kalissos. As JRKP seems quite happy and speedy on these medium tyres. Maybe he's going to try and work his way up back to his teammate in P8. It's actually 5 seconds up the road. As towards P10, everyone is quite close. Nicky Lauda quite close in the back of JRKP actually, keeping up with him. So yeah, I think these are the closest people on track. As I completely missed the lead overtake. Like, what am I doing? Watching P10, not doing anything. Anyway, but now I think Billy's comfortably just going to sit back to the next long straight and try and get a move. But a little bit of dirty air means you can't get on the throttle. He doesn't close too much to Benny here. Oh, and he goes a bit wide. That's really difficult. That's going to bring Zingle into contention with DRS, which is not what you want. As JRKP makes the move on Calypsos at turn 4. Oh, that'll be an opportunistic move down the inside at turn uh, 6 there. As yeah, huge gaps. Sectors of when everyone pitted, isn't there? Sort of stints of what lack everyone pitted, I think. So Billy does not get the move on Bruno this lap. Oh, super deep. Alright, almost into his back end. So Benny Bruno leading Division 2 race is not something I would have thought I would hear. Even me say, as Kazingo does get into the DRS of the front two. We'll be looking to make the move soon. Kalitov gets past, no, Cavolis, I mean, gets past the Williams driver. And another overtake between the Alpine boys. TJ Stewart gets past Stewart. Did I say TJ gets past Stewart? I meant Husky is overtaken by TJ Stewart. So his next car that he's going to go for will be Evan, who is 5 seconds up the road. Billy gets a time penalty warning there for exceeding too many track limits. As it looks like here, Billy is going to dump the ERS to try and close. It's going to be a move that I think Billy always wants to make here down the inside. Oh, he's tried it, but it's just too difficult. Unfortunately, he does slide out of that, take too much speed into the hairpin, get a worse exit than Benny Bruno, and is unable to catch. I mean, this shows, I think Billy is the faster driver, but he can't re-overtake. Benny's got that edge in the exits, I think, somehow. He seems to be a bit more confident on the throttle, less mistakes than Billy. It's a little bit of dirt is kicked up as the driver runs wide through the exit of turn 6. As TJ Stewart is catching Evan on 8.6 from 9 seconds. Hammers dropped the gap from 47 to 43. We'll always keep watching him. As anyone's close? Close drivers, Sport and Maggot there closing, just trying to close the gap to Evan. I think that's what they're all working towards here. This group between 5, 6 and 7th and 8th and 9th, really all trying to close the gap up to the top drivers. JRKP with a lot of driving to do if he wants to catch up. Ooh, as wide goes Husk. Does this allow Sport to get a good exit? I think it's because yeah, Husk is dumping. He takes the inside line, side by side. Oh, a little tap at turn 4. He's trying to stick it around the outside, which he has the reason to do. He can do that. Oh, this is a tight battle here between Husk and Sport. Just I think getting the better there of Sport was Husk as he was draining the battery. But I mean now towards the last corners he slows down. Okay. Husk's not really fighting that move. I mean, he's got much more ERS. I mean, I don't think he knows how much ERS he's got, but it's a good move, good camera angle as well. Nice. So that's Sport making a move. I see Kalitzos and Nicky Lauda go at it. Lauda trying to make the move on Kalitzos towards turn 3. We'll have a watch of this. Oh gosh, as 3 wide is into what? Didn't even know what happened there. Husk trying to make the move on Sport trying to defend from Husk, and Maggot slipped up the inside somehow. I didn't get a great camera angle of that. Kalitzos is just fending off the Red Bull of Lauda, just enough. And he keeps ahead. As Maggot, Sport man needs to get past Husky. He can't really be delaying this overtake again. Now that Maggot is in front, and he's going to be flying towards the back of TJ Stewart here. And, well, maybe actually it would probably be similar pace, so maybe not flying, but they'll be working together to catch Evan. 44.1 seconds is the gap now. Hammers to man like Donkey. I mean, well, to the leaders, but change this. Yes, there we go. Kalitos is passed and is re-overtakes towards turn 3 as it's a battle here of the ERSs. Actually, Kalitos with more ERS, but doesn't use it to stay ahead of Lauda, as Honey Badger seems to be joining the end of this fight. Just about, if he can catch up. As down the inside goes Kalitos, sorry. No, I keep saying down the inside, it's not. It's down the outside. Oh wow, there's actually we got a better camera angle. Side by side, this is interesting. Turn 6. If Kalitos kept that move going, I would be very surprised. Very good driving. As Billy still just 6% sat behind. Cannot pass. I mean, nor can Kazingo. I thought he would be right on the back. I mean, I think they're all saving a bit of ERS as this stage of the race. As I think everyone's going to have to pit again. The Sport becomes that first person to pit. I assume onto another set of mediums. Indeed is what it is. How far does this drop him back? Slow moving after Masu there, as he might have made a mistake at the last corner. Hammers is just... he's praying for another safety car here. Sportman drops down to 14th. Is Marshall released again? Is this... No, he's not. He's out, isn't he? Watching his Kalitos again down the inside. This fight is going back and forth. Now he's trying to switch back on Lauda here towards turn 6. And it actually seems to be working here with the shorter line to the corner, but Lauda carries more speed into the corner and sufficiently ahead by turns 7 and 8. As Honey Badger dropped back actually off the end of these two. I think he pitted, yeah, he did, for new tyres. GRKP and Husk fighting? No, they're just Huskers going into the pits. So is Lauda. So that fight ends sadly between Kalitos and the Red Bull. Moving on to Billy. He's close. I mean, Kazinga were looking great there with that ERS storage. As Sports fully pitted, so Husk pits as well. I mean, you know this. I wonder what these tyres are on. I mean, how long did I go on mine? They were 50%. I mean, I've boosted my pressure so much. Depending on what your pressures are around here. Maybe around 50-ish%, maybe for these drivers, maybe around 40. As into the pits comes Benny Bruno. And now we'll see if, yes, using the ERS, he's got a massive advantage. He just needs to make use of it. Towards turn 3, they're both not using, but Kazinga is gaining for the lead of this race. Defensive goes Billy to the inside. Both get a good exit. Actually, Billy pulls away a bit there in the second phase. Both using ERS. Only a 14% advantage now is in the balance from around 50 as Kazinga gets all over the exit curve. That's so unfortunate. He's going to drop him down, and that battery is unfortunately made redundant. Now as he needs to recharge it back up, and he must have a significant attack on Billy. As Benny Bruno is in a awkward position with Kalitos after pitting. As Kazinga now right on the back of maybe Billy made a mistake. Oh, I hate going into that corner. So easy just to tap the other car and goes flying around. Billy's going to have more ERS here as Kazinga overtakes, just clipping the grass there. Behind Billy, moving to the side of Billy. As we see, Billy can fight back here. He doesn't bold decision, no bold decision, just keeps the ERS. Look, now he knows he's ahead. You can see the back of thingy blinking as Husk gets the fastest lap of this race in P15. Brown, could they push it for soft tires? Oh, maybe. Hammers, unfortunately, right, he's still at the back. Unfortunately, he's preying on a safety car in these coming laps, which should maybe happen as some drivers pit and then come out with fresher tyres and some older tyres and some optimistic moves trying to be made. As I think Billy's losing touch with Kazingal a little bit. Is he going to use this DRS? Will help him significantly. Much lower wings has Billy. Jesus Christ, look at that. It breezes up to the side of Kazingal, and the braking is good. He loses a bit of traction there, but Kazingal can't do anything about it because he's directly behind him. And Billy takes the lead of this race, both with 3 second time penalties. Actually, now that I think about it, Billy is a 6 second. Oh, that is unfortunate. I think that's why Kazingal is so is just letting him do what he wants. I mean, Evan is surprising. I mean, Kojo Stewart, well, great. He's super fast here. From 9 seconds to the leader, it's cut it down to 4.7. I mean, it'd be good if oh, there's some ghosting going on here. That's interesting between Kavolis and Kalitsos. Very interesting. Athanasu has just been passed by Sport Mad, I think. Yep, so we can't back up to the top. A lot of people close, but not too close. I will change it to fastest lap. Still Husk, who is close. You know, I think it'll be TJ Stewart. I think he's the fastest man on the track at the moment. Some of the Maggot, those two are just breezing. As they will have to pit soon. I mean, maybe they'll go to hard. I mean, softs. Don't know mediums if they're taking it this long. Billy and Kazingal also taking their tyres to the braking point. Look at that, they're getting so much ERS after not using. They realise how important it is around a track like this to have good ERS. Oh, it's Billy's overestimated that corner, and Kazingal gets the lead for free. But is it tactical? Maybe Billy's purposely missed that corner just to get the DRS and breeze past Kazingal again. Maybe, I think that's what we're missing out. And now the real risk is Tujok and Stewart can see the lead of this race, and you can probably see that Kazingal's got, I mean, Billy's got a 6 second penalty, squeezing what is left of his battery out there, and now flying towards the back of Kazingal, his low wings. Oh my, got to hold my breath there as Billy just misses Kazingal. TJ Stewart can see the lead here. It's less than 4 seconds away. 2.8. He's a real contention here for this win, TJ Stewart. Because the people in front need to pit, or will they go to the end? That will be very interesting to see if they go to the end. They'll be in puncture. I can guarantee one person will get a puncture. Most likely Evan on those 20 lap old medium tyres. Gosh, the grip here must be non-existent. It's Benny Bruno's catching, that's what I mean. They're not pitting. He's going to catch. Depends how fast he will catch there, as he doesn't have any penalties. As Evan is super close to getting into the DRS range of Billy, but just can't. Actually, he is, never mind. Bit of mistake there from Billy maybe on the previous lap. 6 laps to go in this this race here. So it doesn't look like they're going to pit. I can't imagine the top 5 drivers pitting at this point. Kavolis and Kalitos also doesn't look like they're going to pit. Athanasu seems like he's not going to pit. And obviously I don't think the rest of the drivers will. Hammers is going to go onto softs just to cheaply take the fastest lap away from anyone, even though it will be Husk who has it. And Husk won't even get points, but I think Hammers just wants to take it away. Billy on edge here, staring at the back of Kizingle. 3 seconds of time penalties for Kizingle, 6 seconds for Billy, and 3 seconds for Maggot. See, Benny Bruno's catching. That's a second. A lap. Oh, it's Billy going all over the curb. That is super dangerous. Now Evan is going to be in the DRS of thingy. And now TJ Stewart's got it. And Maggot's got it. But now he's going to become a train because TJ Stewart, no battery left. Maggot's got all the battery left. I don't want to sit in the world. It is only 33%. But he will see the back of TJ Stewart's car flashing here. And he will know, oh, Evan cannot, see the problem is, yeah, you need the ERS for that move. Does TJ Stewart, he cannot. As JRKP overtakes Sport Mad, P10 and P9, the strategy not really working out. Pitting did not seem to be the right call for these two today. As Benny Bruno is now 7.8 seconds. That is crazy how much he's gaining per lap on those new medium tyres. Someone's got to have a puncture. One of these guys have to be unlucky and get a puncture in this next lap, just to spice it up a bit. I mean, 22 laps, there's no way, right? 20 laps. Be interesting to talk to these three after the race if it stays like this. And TJ Stewart will bump up. It is 6 seconds. No reason fighting really Billy and Kizingle because there's no way you're going to pull 3 seconds. But I mean, they're all obliged to make their positions. He's going to dive it down the inside, doesn't he? Loses the last second to pull out. TJ Stewart down the inside on Maggot's teammate Evan. And now Maggot is going to be looking to try to make the move on those two. As you can see them both flashing like Christmas lights. As JRKP makes the move on Calypso, so there's fresher tyres, payoff there. As Curtis trying to actually make the switch back, but can't. Nicky Lauda also makes the move on Athanasu. As Maggot also passes Evan into the penultimate corner, which is an interesting overtake. As we do see Hammers take the fastest lap of this race. So I think the winner here will be TJ Stewart if the penalties are right. I mean, Benny Bruno's flying to the back of these Evan. And if he's not careful, that'd be crazy. If Benny Bruno overtakes Evan and gets towards the podium, crazy. I Sport Mad makes a move on Calypsos as well, unfortunately. Oh, you can see Sport Mad just pushing into Cavolas there. Now they're both trying to slip past the two AlphaTauris, working together. Now Calypsos sees the stricken Cavolas and also is making a move. That's 3 positions lost in a straight for Calypsos. He's probably a bit annoyed here, so he's gonna stick it around the outside. Should be using the RF there, mate. But it just doesn't. That must be so infuriating to drop out of 7th just to 10th, just like that. Benny Bruno is. Evan spins into the wall. What if he's got come out? Slap 3? No. He hasn't retired, so he's very lucky there. If anything, this is great for Benny Bruno, as you can see the cars up front. You can see the leading cars as they fly into someone. JRKP and Sportman now actually in a great position. Points wise, not towards like the grid, but like great position, just like it's points wise actually. It's not on track. As Billy loses a place and TJ Stewart loses a place. No, what? Yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm not sure. See, oh, it's end to end. They're so close to each other. Who's getting the better exit? We end up being Benny Bruno. Passing them all was Maggot. Also has a time penalty. So it'll be interesting to see where Benny Bruno is placing all this. As Benny Bruno lover. Oh no, it's the rear end of Maggot. Flies out there. Yeah, I told you, 22 lap tyres. The grip is just not there. I mean, Benny Bruno's caught so much time to these cars here on the final laps. And Maggot falls all the way to behind the two. He's going to be fighting with the AlphaTauris now. And I say fight, I mean, their tyres are way better than Maggots. It's now Benny Bruno on to Joe Stewart. I love it. Please dive in, 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 please dive in. That's what we need. That's a true Benny Bruno spirit right there. The dive bomb to get P3 from Benny Bruno on tyres, and now he's looking for the win. Benny Bruno, a clutch. Like, that's what I mean. Pitting somehow. I've never seen that. You know, like he fights back from making up all that time. And it looks like Benny Bruno is going to get the win here. That's crazy. There's another yellow flag. Is Athanasiou at the hairpin again. Kazingo is pushing actually to get out of range of. And oh my god, look how it makes it look so easy. Really, I swear if you took this man out. Okay, maybe he's not looking for the win anymore. Because Kazingo is flying on those old mediums. Billy is doing a great job of holding Benny off. Oh, he is somehow somebody with lower wings than Billy, and would not have thought that. It's Benny Bruno. I mean, Billy obviously would go for the dive bomb on thingy. I'm not surprised. I mean, both drivers, Benny Bruno, and if it comes to a dive bomb battle between Benny Bruno and Billy, I mean, I don't know who would win, to be honest. Crazy. I mean, between those two drivers, I mean, I think the more aggressive one is Billy. They're very interesting drivers. So unfortunately, Benny Bruno won't get the win there, but Kazingo, I mean, he's deserved it all from the relax. He hasn't. I mean, talking. I mean, obviously, I'm going to talk to him again and question about the race, but I mean, look, only 7/10 off his fastest lap on 26 old lap tyres. Like that's crazy. And Benny Bruno getting a well-deserved P2. Very well deserved. T.J. Stewart, even that's an amazing drive from T.J. Stewart to make up that time. Absolutely amazing. The two AlphaTauri somehow appearing out of nowhere in P4 and P5 to bring home good points for those in the constructors. Billy unfortunately dropping down to P6 in that situation. 26 lap tyres. Cavolas good point scoring for him. P7. That's a good haul for the McLaren team. Kalitzos P8, good points. Nicky Lauda ends up finishing behind his rival of Kalitzos' race. And Maggot, unfortunately, we saw spin on lap 34. He will take home the last points position. Husker, an eventful race to say the least for him. He ends up in P11. Then in P12, I'm not sure who it was. I'll continue that. Oh, I'll continue that. Oh, after the podiums. I think it's podium. Is it? Yeah, should be. Evan, puncher on 76%. That's what it was, spinning him round. A puncher. Oh, that's so unlucky. There you go, get the podium celebrations from the top three drivers. As continuing, it was Honey Badger. As now it's back raining apparently. After the race, Honey Badger in P12, Athanasiou in P13, Evan in P14. Unfortunately for him, he was having a great race until he did get a puncher. There's Man Like Donkey, finished P15, and Hammers, unfortunately, a very extremely lonely race for him. If he does get the fastest lap though for his efforts. P16, Marshmallow, the last retiree in P17, then DZ Karting, the first retiree in the wet, starting on the intermediates in P18. It's a great race. I think what we'll do, because we enjoy it a lot, we will invite the one, the only Kazingo to the party and have another winners interview. We'll see what he says to my invitation. He says, let's do it, mate. Obviously hyped up after the race. I have to think of some questions to actually ask this man's. Yeah. Okay, so back on air. Now he can see nothing, even though we're not really streaming. As he will join any time soon, because who doesn't want to be interviewed by the one? I mean, an eventful race to say the least. Anyway, here he is, our race winner, Kazingo. Very, very close though. I mean, he probably doesn't know it, but Benny Buno chasing the grid down. And only just missed out on the win due to getting hit by Billy at the hairpin. Anyway, that was a crazy race, Kazingo, to start in wet conditions, and then no later than 6 laps, I had people pitting onto to slicks. So really,
Yeah.
what was your decision to stay out at the first safety car? Because I knew you were one of the 4 drivers to stay out.
Yeah, I thought it was not going to dry up as quickly as it did, given the weather forecast. So I chose the decision to go for the stay out, but it became pretty clear that that was the wrong decision. So after the restart, and luckily there was quickly a second safety car, so we went in, got on the mediums, got on the inters, and then it was clear that it was turning into a dry track pretty quickly, so we then got into the inters, into the mediums, which we managed to keep to the rest of the race, which was good fun.
Yeah, that was crazy to have 2 safety cars. It was right after each other, wasn't it? It meant
Yeah.
that the track dried up. Like the intermediates, we completely missed that period. You could have, like, everyone that stayed on the wets, you could have gone from wets to mediums and didn't even have to go on to the intermediates, which is crazy.
So that's what happened with, I think, Evan and Huss. They both went wet to mediums, which was probably the right play, but I think Evan got a puncture on the last or second to last lap. So it was like maybe 1 lap too many. But I think I got a bit lucky that I made the wrong strategy call early in the first safety car.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, after, I didn't know where everyone, because everyone pitted at different times. The grid was massively spread out. I think we had Hammers last 40 seconds behind everyone, and then huge gaps in the grid. But I mean, this is about, obviously, you winning. So in the top 3, it was Benny Buno, Billy, and you. And I felt you had the pace to overtake those 2, but you sat behind for a bit. Was that to recharge ERS? You know, you had fuel issues, as you said.
I had fuel issues, yeah. So I'd started with min fuel because I thought the race would be chaos. It was chaos, but not chaos enough. So for the last 20 laps, I had to fuel save. I had to gain 2 laps of fuel in the last 20 laps.
Well,
so yeah, that's when. So when I got the fuel back, I basically managed to get past Billy, and then that was it.
To be honest, that is fair play. I never even noticed that, but like.
Yeah, I was having to lift and coast from like 200 meters in on all the straights.
And talking about that, did you have a setup? Like, what was your Benny and Billy were flying on the straight when it came to overtaking, and it seemed like when you went up against Billy, you had to you were side by side to the hairpin, but Billy breezed past you. Did you feel like
so I had a wet setup on, so I was super quick in sector 2, sector 3, but the first sector I was struggling in a bit. So I had 30-20 wings, which I didn't change the front one down. I probably should have changed the front one down a little bit on the when I came in for mediums. But yeah, it was pretty challenging to overtake people. But I think a few people were on wet setups too.
And my final question on how did you do it? 26 lap old tyres, were they like punched? They had to be in puncture range, right? It had to be like 70-80%.
Yeah, yeah, it was 75, I think, on the coming over the line. So I wasn't kind of trying to ride any curves or just go anything. I was just trying to get them round. I knew I had the gap. I had 4 seconds to the guy without penalties. So yeah, that was the
And
that was it.
interestingly, obviously, as I said, Benny pitted, and he managed to catch up again because no one else pitted. Did you ever think I'm gonna stop on these mediums, or did you know you were taking us to the end?
I saw it like 10 laps left, and the mediums were only on 40%, and they were going down at about 3% a lap. So I thought I could probably get this. And I was just seeing the fastest laps come in, and we are probably like a second, 1.2 behind per lap. So I didn't see any need to come in, and can always push a bit of ERS for the final few laps if we need to defend.
I mean, yeah, you came over the line, and I saw when I was spectating you, you were 7 tenths off your fastest lap on 70 to 80 lap percent mediums, and that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a big old DRS lap on that final one for sure. I had 100% battery going into the final 2 laps from charging behind Billy and Benny. So yeah.
Okay, I said it would be my final question, but like your battery usage was on point. I mean, I looked at a few other drivers, and I think after the safety car, it was like 0. Stewart and Maggot had 0. Like they never had anything, and you managed to like keep it and recharge it. It was great to see. I mean, it probably helps that you were lifting and coasting the corners.
Yeah, it did help a lot. And I think I don't know if higher wings helps. Maybe it does. I'm not good enough at this game to know. But yeah, it's a hard track to recharge a battery on anyway. So if you can keep some of it for the final few laps, then yeah.
Well, that's all my questions. It was great. It was a great race to watch, and congratulations to you for winning it, and now leading the title charge. I think that will be P1 in the standings, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
P4.
mate, I had my last 2 wins taken off me. So.
Oh yeah. Oh. Damn it.
We'll be there or thereabouts, but we won't be P1, I'm sure.
So probably it's around P3. I think it's probably between. I don't know. I think it brings.
Hang on, let me have a look at the standings.
The AlphaTauris pushed into the battle. They came 4th.
I think they came 4th and 5th, so they'll be there or thereabouts as well.
I mean, a very interesting race, a very good race as well. I think it has to be probably one of, if not the most entertaining of the season, up there with Imola as well.
Yeah, it was good fun. I'll be behind Hammers still. We'll be behind Hammers. Yeah. He's got 2 wins. Maggot will be up there, but put myself back in the mix, mate. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, hopefully I get to see you and talk to you again.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a winner's interview, not a Hammers interview anyway, DNF'd. So
I've got a couple of my favourite tracks in the next few coming up. So Silverstone and Brazil.
Good to hear. Well, give you all my luck.
Cheers, mate.
No worries. Well, great race from you. Yeah.
Cheers, buddy. Catch up soon.
See ya. And that, our race winner, and with him leading the end of the Austrian Grand Prix. And we'll be back for Tuesday, where we are racing at I'm not sure. It's a surprise this week. Next week, midweek, race 5, halfway through. It's a surprise. So, yeah, to find out, you have to go to the DTR website and you have to sign up to the Discord league. So, just doing my bit of promotion for the league. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my commenting and the race. I hope it wasn't too boring. And if you can still hear me, I'm trying to think of a little catchphrase I can say. Bye bye. And obviously I had Benny Bruno, the last comment, to say, why did you do that? Very sad. Anyway,